Good morning, brothers and sisters. I wanted to share a quick video of a conversation I got to have with a fellow believer. You know, the whole iron sharpens iron. And it ties into the purpose of these videos to strengthen our relationship with God, but yet using examples that we do every day that we don't realize. And one of the conversations that we got to have was talking about giving thanks, praise, and worship. Now, as I explained to him, I was one of those people that when I first got into church, I always looked around. I never raised my hand, never really sang, because again, I was one of them people that always like, man, what are these people going to think of me? I was too worried about what everybody else said rather than just focusing on God. Because see, the true definition of praise and worship is just simply thanking God. And him and I got into the conversation. It turned into, relationship conversation. And I brought up the example of, okay, so say you having a bad day, or it's a important milestone in your life, and your significant other does something extraordinary and so spontaneous that you are so caught off guard that a little spark of that love and why you loved them or met them or agreed to be with them in the first place, that spark was reignited. And you were so grateful and appreciative that they thought of you and did that for you that you want to find ways to say thank you. Do you do it through cooking them a dinner? Do you do it through taking them to the spa? Or cleaning their house, or taking them to go get their nails done, or get him a tool that he's been wanting? Regardless, you still make an effort to say thank you. And you do it through your actions. You let your actions speak louder than your words. Because see, when you just talking and you don't never do nothing to back it up, they're just words. Words are, while they can be powerful, they can also be meaningless. If you don't back your words up with action, they're just words. And we went further on to discuss the fact that, he had talked about how he had spoke with somebody and they had nothing nice to say about Jesus. Nothing nice to say about God. He wasn't real. Science is the fact. We came from monkeys, the Big Bang, all that. He refused to acknowledge God. Well, you know what? That's his walk. That's his right. That's his free will. We ain't here to judge. We don't pass judgment. That's not what we do here. But it was enough that he's telling me, and he's like, bro, I was starting to talk this and I kept hearing God say, don't talk to him. What was that about? Well, because the reality of it is, in this next couple series that I'm going to try to get to, it's called The Seeds We Sow. See, while my goal and my focus here is not to become YouTube famous, I don't care about any of that. That never meant anything to me. I'm simply here to plant a seed of faith, a seed of hope, a seed of knowledge and wisdom to get you to want to explore further on your own, to fact check me. Man, is this dude really right? Them verses that I like to put down here at the bottom of the screen. Look them up for yourself. What's the verse before? What's the verse after say? Am I lying? Am I leading you astray? Am I a false prophet? You're only going to find out if you search for yourself. But see, the fact that something is stirring inside of you and making you want to fact check me, that planted that seed. And you going and doing the research is germinating that seed. Now you've gotten curious. Now that seed is starting to germinate. And now God will take over. That's the purpose of this. But again, getting back to the relationship purpose. See, while again we are just trying to plant seeds in each other's lives, seeds of goodness, the people you choose to allow in your life can also plant a seed of doubt. They can plant a seed of hatred. They can plant a seed of deception and confusion. They can derail your whole mindset with that one bad seed. So you got to be careful who you let in your life to start with. Secondly, getting deeper into that conversation. And it talked about how other people that we used to let run in our little circle, trying to plant that seed, it eventually died. And he's like, well, why is that? Well, keeping in the fact that, I want to be truthful with you. No mask, no hypocrisy, none of that. See, the reality of it is, it's our fault. Whether we realize it or not, it's our fault. Because, see, again, just examples. Say I'm sitting here and I teach you this, I share this video with you. And you're like, and it plants a seed. And now you're curious. You're starting to see a change. Something's different. But then you happen to see me out on the street. And maybe you see me in a bar. I'm smoking a cigarette. I'm drinking. I'm cursing. Whatever it is. That person is going to look at you and be like, really? You just said all this stuff about God and why I should believe in Him. But you out here doing this. See, you just tore up and unrooted that seed you planted with hypocrisy. There ain't no other way to color it. You's a hypocrite. I was a hypocrite. I still have my weaknesses. I'm getting better about keeping them personal. In here, I fight my battles alone. But you know what? That's my walk. And yeah, it's a hard walk. I ain't gonna lie to you. You'll find out later when I use this cup to just completely just change your mindset. I actually took this cup while I was driving over the road in Badland, Wyoming, and just completely just baffled these people so much that I had a young girl's like, can I keep this? Absolutely. Hey, I planted that seed. What she did with it from there, only the Lord knows. But see, it comes back to, dealing with these relationships. See, your day-to-day life, you already doing what you need to do. You just don't realize it. Like, for example, they use the, without gossiping, because, see, the Bible's against that. That's what tears each other down. We're supposed to lift each other up, not tear each other down. Well, I have changed a lot of my ways, and I know I was having some marital problems, and we weren't seeing eye to eye, but I realized it was me. I spent more time outside in that garage than I ever did with her. And we watching a lot of movies. And I'm like, okay, that's great, but is it real quality time? Well, what do you mean, bro? I'm spending time with her. What kind of movies are you watching? Does it have cussing? Is there a lot of violence? Is there a lot of sexuality? Is there murder? I mean, what's the content of that movie? Because, see, again, while you think you're spending quality time, you further adding to his or her doubt. Because, see, again, you're feeding that flesh and that carnal mind rather than feeding that spirit. And I know this is kind of deep. It is, people ain't going to understand this, and that's fine. I mean, one day, hopefully. But see, if you want to talk the talk, brothers and sisters, we need to learn how to walk the walk. And most of us do it every day without realizing it. It's so simplistic. But yet, bring God into the question. And now our whole world's ripped upside down. We're just, it's a battle. But you're doing it every day and you don't realize it. It all starts in here. You know, my favorite thing, and I'll find a picture to put it up here where this light's all bright. And I wanted it to be one of my next book covers, but it's going to be a chapter instead. It's called the three monkeys we're all familiar with. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. We all know what that means. Hear no evil, stay away from just bad situations. Speak no evil. Don't talk bad about others. Treat others the way you want to be treated. See no evil. Keep yourselves out of situations that are going to plant that seed of doubt. Treat people how you want to be treated. And see, again, given that coin, I wish I had one right now. Matter of fact, I do. See, this coin has two sides. You got your head, and then you got your tails. See, the head side of that is what I just explained. See, the tail side of that, take it deeper. See with your spiritual eyes and not your worldly eyes. See, the biggest battle we fight amongst ourselves or in life, the biggest battle or the biggest struggle, the biggest hurdle you will ever overcome is not out here. Yeah, that adds to it. It makes it rough. It's right here. Because see, ladies and gentlemen, the things that you choose to watch plants memories and seeds of in here. The gossip and the stories and all the other nonsense you choose to listen to plant seeds of doubt and confusion in here. The conversations that you choose to take a part in, whether it be gossip, whether it be anger, whether it be cynicalism, regardless, the list goes on and on and on. It adds to the doubts and struggles up here. And before you know it, you are so stuck in such a battle that you don't know which way's up, which way's down, left, right, wrong, or right. You are just stuck in this state of constant turmoil, confusion, and doubt. And again, rather than trying to assume it, what do? We choose to watch further. We choose to speak further. We choose to listen further. We keep building into it. See, the Bible says, walk in the light. That light, that is the light of God. That is the light of good. That light is supposed to be a reflection, a image that people see of Christ living within you. You are the example that brings light into this dark world that we live in. And see, you can't be that example until you fully become that example. So you want to walk right, you want to talk right, you want to be able to plant that seed right, you got to change what you choose to watch. You got to change what you choose to listen to. You got to watch what comes out your mouth. Because see, it don't matter whether you trying to fix your relationship, you trying to start a relationship, you trying to start a business, you trying to start friendships. Everything in here, it's going to come out of here. And that will, whether you see it or not, it's going to dictate all the things around you. Because see, People don't want to be around negativity. People don't like gossip all the time. At least good people. They don't want to be around it. Like, look, I have my own struggles. I fought my own demons, a lot of which I put in here. And I got to figure out how to get them out of here. Which I'll explain to you later on how we do that. It's very simple. Matter of fact, let me just do it right now. See, like repetition. They say it takes a minimum of 14 days of doing the same thing over and over and over before it becomes repetition. To replace a bad habit with a good habit. It's a lot of work. It was easier to do them start the bad habit, but it takes twice as hard to get rid of the first one. For example, yes, people, I smoke. I struggle with it. I'm trying so hard to quit. The first time, it was cold turkey, 3 days over it, didn't care. I started back up over my divorce, the stupidest thing I could have ever done. But it's twice as hard. Because see, again, keeping honesty with you, there's too much garbage in here that just spews excuses. And until I went up here, these stupid habits, these addictions, they're going to linger. Because, see, it's easier to follow negativity than it is good. So, speaking like I was with him, you want to spend some good quality time with your significant other? First and foremost, what's quality time? What does that even define? That's defined as spending time with him or her doing what he or she likes to do. Truly getting to know them. Does she like to make candles? Does she like to sew? Is she into painting, arts and crafts? Well, that might not be your thing, but you know what? That's part of who she is. Quit your macho male garbage. Sit down and do some arts and crafts with her. Because see, it's not about the thing that you're doing. It's about the time you're spending with her. You are taking that time to come down to her level and truly get to know her. See, that's where the good stuff's found. Same way with him. Does he like to work in the garage? Does he like to work on cars? What is his thing? Who cares you don't know how to work on a car? Who cares your hand's going to get dirty? We got soap. Sit out there. Even if you don't want to get your hands dirty, hand him a tool. Just get to know him. You might be surprised at the man he's been hiding. Because the things that he's seen, spoken here through the years, have taught him to just shut up. For example, I don't like putting myself out there. But, again, the purpose is to share experiences. See, I was one of them guys growing up. That's a whole long story. We ain't gonna get into the craziness of it. But I didn't know what I wanted to be. I was searching for something that I didn't know what it was. So I spent probably, I would say from the age of 5 to about 14, I lived on a farm. Oh, hated it then. Give me anything to have it back now, trust. I missed that life. But I learned how to farm. I learned how to live off the land. I learned how to take care of animals. I learned all that. Moved to Ohio. From the age of 14 till about 23, I think, is when I finally stopped. I'd had enough. I did construction. I actually, from the year 2003 till I was deployed, started a business that was very successful right off the ground. I shut it down, when I went to Iraq. But needless to say, I knew how to do construction. I was in the Army. I idolized, again a word, we got to be careful. I didn't know then. But like my grandpa was my hero. And I always heard stories about how he made money in boot camp sewing people's uniforms and stuff. I treasured my grandpa so much, I wanted to be like that. So I had my grandma teach me how to sew. Yeah, I know how to sew on a sewing machine. Ooh, real manly. Sorry about that. But I learned how to sew. Then, because of transferring from Kentucky to Ohio, which everybody thinks the education system's lower from one to the other, I actually transferred with enough credits I could have graduated at the end of my sophomore year. I was a half a credit shy my sophomore year. But my father didn't want me graduating. Ain't no 16-year-old has any business graduating high school that early. So my last 2 years, my junior and senior year, I took auto body. So one half of the day, my junior year was auto body. The rest of the day was stuck in study hall. Till I got to my senior year, where I did auto body in the first half of the day, did a work program in the back half of the day, just to get out of there. So I have a vocational degree. I'm working on cars, fixing the auto body. My first car, my dad bought me a body, engine, gave me a book and a cherry picker. It's like, you want to learn how to drive? You'll fix it. That car sat there for 8 months. I didn't care. I had a bicycle. I wasn't lazy. I enjoyed it. Till I met that first love. Well, you can't take her out on a date on that little bicycle. So I actually sat down, opened that book, and I learned how to put that car together. And I got it working. So I learned how to work on cars. I ain't no professional. And especially with these new computers, I don't even try. Then, coming back from Iraq, I started driving, working in the national park. Oh, most amazing job. If you ever get the experience, working in a national park, nature at its finest. But I did that for 4 years while I was going through college. And now, I actually attended 3 colleges at the exact same time, working on the same degree while with my kids, helping to raise my kids. I took a 4-year degree and cut it down in about 1.5 years. Because, see, I started chasing money. I thought that thing that was missing was money. And let me tell you the unhappiness that brought that. Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm divorced. I was all words, no action. I didn't. I was so complacent that I'm like, she ain't going nowhere. She ain't going nowhere. She'll be alright. She ain't going nowhere. I've been with her for 10 years. She don't have to work. She got everything she wants. She ain't going nowhere. I don't need to do all that. Yeah. Woo, let me tell you. But I ended up working IT. And I did that for 3 years. And I became very good at it. But from my divorce, I'm back in a truck driving over the road. So you see, I don't tell people that because, see, we live in a time everybody wants everything for nothing. Oh, man, can you help me out? Oh, man, can you do this? Oh, man, can you do that? And knowing if they paid somebody for this construction project, they'd be spending thousands of dollars. They might hand you $50. Oh, man, I appreciate you helping me out, man. Thanks, bro. Give me that friend discount. You get tired of being used and taken advantage of. I quit all of it. I don't tell people none of it. You know, just like, you know, this book. It's written. It ain't on the shelves yet. Because that's a different story. But I don't tell people that. I only bring it up when the time calls for it. But see, the fact of the matter is, because of the seasons that I'm going through and learning to do these, to put my focus on these, because see, right now I'm in that season where I need to embrace my singleness. Because see, if I choose to get with somebody, who's to say that I wouldn't get so focused on them that you don't get another video? You don't get another lesson from God. You don't get to hear that profound word that He placed on my heart to share with you. Because, see, I chose to take my attention somewhere else. We don't know. Who's to say I would or wouldn't? I don't know. I mean, I think I wouldn't. But, I mean, I would hope that she would be a part of this. She would help embrace this. Because, see, is one of the things that God has told me, she can get to areas I'm just not going to be allowed. But, be that as it may. I became from my past and the aura that I reflect that I don't realize. I became a book that people judge by their covers, and that's fine. It's a season. It's gonna end. That's cool. Let me work on me first. Because see, one thing I also learned about being a real man, you got to learn and admit your vulnerabilities and fix them. Because see, again, ladies and gentlemen, it don't matter who you are. When you invite somebody in your life, or you allow somebody to come into your life, is that person going to be fruitful? Or are they going to be just take, and never give? See, you want that person to enlighten your life, not take away from it. They're supposed to be a blessing, not a burden. And I've come to realize there's some things that, you know, through my seasons of learning, and I thank God every day for loving me so much that He's pruning me, He's teaching me, He's allowing me to suffer the consequences of my own ignorance to teach me. And the best part is, ladies and gentlemen, He blessed us with grace to learn. We've been blessed with grace. If you just read the Old Testament, learn these Bible studies, you will, I'm telling you, it will change the way you see and feel about God. Because see, back in the Old Testament, they didn't play. God said this is what it was. They went against it. You gave up the ghost. You were done. You didn't have grace. You and I could not go to God directly. You had to go through the tabernacle and let its processes do it for you. But see, now I can just sit here right now with you and just talk to God. You and I have that blessing. We have that open communication. Many of us don't know it. Many of us don't know how. You know, take me. I'll be honest, I don't know how to pray. Some days I want to, and there's just no words. But I like to just communicate. I like to talk. I talk to them like I'm talking to you. And, which, you know, that I want to get into another video on its own, because to me that's key and that's important. But I'm going to stop it right here because we're getting ready to encroach the half-hour mark. And I don't want this to get too overwhelming too fast and just lose you, because I know your time is precious. So we will pick up where we left off. Thank you. God bless. Have a beautiful day.